Well, I've been a bit time precious recently, so I've really got a lot of housekeeping to do, and that includes tying up these tomatoes because certainly one of them leant over last night and I've been meaning to do it for a little while. So today is all about housekeeping on the allotment, and I'm just going to get on slowly but surely, see if I can get things well under control. Tomatoes are all tied up. We've got some basil still to harvest in the middle there. I've moved the aubergines into the centre. Now the aubergines are flowering, but they're not fruiting. The flowers currently are falling off, so not sure what's going on there. Maybe they're not being pollinated, but we've got plenty more flowers on them, so I'm still hopeful. The tomatoes are ripening, but we've definitely got blight, and you can see the stem turning there, and it's a case now of playing against time. Hopefully they'll ripen before too many of them are damaged. So I can't see there being a particularly strong harvest of tomatoes with regards to these, but the beefsteaks have done really well, and I've thinned them out a little because they were just getting too bushy, but there's some really good fruit on them, and hopefully they will come to fruition in a not too distant future. And this plant that I've moved down here for a bit more light, again, has got some very nice fruit on it. I've strung up the cucumbers. They're trailing now, and we've got a few cucumbers growing on them, so I've attached them with this string. I've not used this before, but it's a ratchet sort of system, and as long as you secure it at the base, I think that's going to work quite well. So we'll see how that goes along and whether I get a couple more of those in the future. They're certainly very easy. And into this bed, which I've weeded now, we've got the herbs that I grew from seed, which I've just potted up where necessary. I've got turnips growing for the autumn turnips, and we'll let them get a little bit further before we pot them up. Some coriander down the bottom, and the coriander is going to go in here when I get these seed trays out. I've brought a few peppers down below because they're getting very bushy and they need a bit more light, and these peppers up here, they're doing really well, and that little bit of extra light will enable them to develop nicely. There's plenty of flowers on them, lots of developing fruit. In fact, I've just had a harvest, which we'll do sauteed peppers for tea, which will be nice. And we've got some really nice large ones coming on in here. A couple of lettuce left, and we'll eat those over the next week or so. And this particular low growing pepper, I think it will do better down here. It was tucked behind the foliage of the others, so there's plenty of fruit on them, and I think they'll just bush out now. I've had a couple of the red ones off of this plant, which we'll taste tonight. So the polytunnel is in its next phase. It's a growing phase really, and the tomatoes, bit of race against time. Hopefully the blight won't take too much toll on the fruit. If it does, it does. And with blight, it's a case of burning the foliage and not using the soil for anything else. So one of the benefits of growing in pots is that if you do get this horrible disease, then you can get rid of the compost very easily, whereas if it was in the ground, that ground would now be contaminated and wouldn't be good for growing tomatoes again. So that's one of the challenges, along with many others, of growing your own vegetables, but they can be overcome. I do hope you enjoyed the video today. If you did, click the subscribe button, click the like button, and if you want updates from me each time I upload a video, click the bell and select all. I do hope you have a great day. Diolch yn fawr.